If you're seeing this, it's your time to shine. And why I'm saying that is our church has a scripture that we've been following this entire year, and it's Philippians 1, verse 6, being confident of this very thing, that he who has begun a good work in you will complete it until the day of Jesus Christ. And honestly, it's really got me thinking. Like, God has really given us, these gifts, these skills, these talents, and whatnot. And we shouldn't really be afraid to show them off, honestly. Especially like, it's so hard to do things that you are passionate about or you're good at. Especially when you have people talking in your ear or you have doubts about yourself and stuff like that. Which, I mean, you're kind of doing the world a disservice by not putting your, talents out there or, helping other people out. We had a talent show recently, and the kids had two options. It was either um, preach to the congregation or show off a talent. And these are like little kids and stuff like that. I mean, I think the oldest kids were in middle school, still pretty young, but yeah, it was really interesting watching them, stand up there and perform. You could tell some of them were nervous, but once they got in the zone and into their element, man, it was so refreshing, honestly. And it was like, yeah, like I'm sure there are a lot of like adults out there in the crowd too that would probably be too, shy to get up there on stage. But those kids, like I could only imagine how intimidating it was to stand in front of an audience with like a good amount of adults, not knowing if they're judging you or not, and still perform and stuff like that. But they got it, and it's made me think like, yeah, like I'll say even for me, like um, as much as I'm pushing for like content and social media and stuff like that, I don't really talk about it apart from like my people in that circle. So like if it comes to modeling, I'll talk to my modeling friends and stuff like that. They know about my content. I'll talk to them about content because I feel like modeling and content creation, at least in you know today's day and age and all that, goes hand in hand. But like when it comes to like say work and stuff like that, nah, you're not going to hear anything from me. Just recently, my coworkers found out, and I'm cringing. I'm cringing about it, but at the same time, it's not too bad. The reaction was definitely better than I expected. I think part of it is like I kind of want them to see me as like a hardworking individual, you know, and stuff like that. Like this is the work me first, but I think like also in the back of my head, like at the same time, I was thinking like, well, I'm not really big like that, or my content hasn't really taken off, so it's like, if they see it, they'll probably think, oh, like he's probably just wasting his time, his free days, his off days, and stuff like that. But nah, that's not at all what it is, and I feel so hypocritical when I'm encouraging other people to post, especially when they feel like they don't want to show or they don't want the people in their um close like friends or family members to see their content because they're embarrassed and stuff like that. But at the same time, I do that too. I do that too. Honestly, I just need to take my advice. Cause yeah, like who's to say like like your stuff, cause okay, sorry, I'm a little excited and jumbled at the same time, but like someone out there might see your work and be inspired or motivated to do the same. Or they might have been waiting, like waiting for that opportunity or waiting for something to hit. Like it's one thing to learn a new hobby or new skill. It's another thing to learn that new hobby or skill with someone else. Like sometimes like, it takes seeing someone else, especially someone that you know and that you can relate to, doing something before you do it too. Like, how many times have you seen something that seems very intimidating or difficult to do and thought, man, like, this person, like, You start to come up with like a million different excuses as to why they could do it but you couldn't. Oh yeah, this person was well off. They had people to help them and stuff like that. But when you see someone that's literally in the same situation, if not worse, and they're able to pull through, then I feel like you don't have any excuse. Honestly, you don't have any excuse at that point. Like, pick up the camera and start vlogging, or pick up the paintbrush and learn how to paint, or something like that. Like, opportunities are out there. Another thing is like, when you think about like when you sit down and document like when you thought about doing a certain idea, or like working on something versus where you're at now, if you haven't done it at all, like, you realize one of the biggest things was, or one of the biggest things you probably told yourself was, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm not a pro where I could see myself doing this, or like, it's not going to amount to anything, or like, it's just so overwhelming and stuff like that. But 2 years down the line, you're looking back on it and you're like, dang, time flew by. Like, who knows how far, you would have gotten if you had just broken up that thing into bits and pieces and stuff like that. Plus, if you have that idea, there's probably a reason why, and you should, go out of your way to search and seek out what it is. Like, it's like women's intuition. There's probably a reason why you have that gut feeling, and you should most likely act on it. Um, Yeah, because like I've taken a whole bunch of breaks when it came to content creation and stuff like that. That's from burnout and stuff, and then also like not getting that validation that I want, and that's another thing. Like, oh, there's a fine line between going all in on something because it could make you money or get you fame and stuff like that, but it's another thing doing it for you. I feel like when you like, and it is funny that I'm saying this because I'm actually working on a video that I was planning on posting. It's an interview I did with someone that I met at I guess, photo shoot for a promotion for a modeling show that we're going to be in. So the question I'd asked her was, do you see yourself do you see yourself modeling as a hobby, or is this going to turn into like an actual, like, do you want this to turn into like an actual like career, like something that you could get paid off of and stuff like that? And she was like, at first, when she started, she was doing it for the sake of like, making a name for herself, getting paid for it, getting monetized, getting sponsorships and stuff like that. But over time, she's realized, you know what? It's at least a great hobby. And I was like, yeah, that kind of hit home to me because it's like, um, as much as I like content creation and modeling and just being creative in general, I feel like once it becomes work and it's like you have to meet all these deadlines and expectations and stuff like that, I feel like it kind of ruins the magic. And I guess that's what happens to a lot of like creatives and music artists and stuff like that. It gets to a point where it's like, you're trying to please, because yeah, like, obviously there's a reason why someone's out there that wants to pay for your work or pay to see you perform. But at some point, like, you kind of lose yourself in it. Like, when like no one's paying you and stuff like that, like, you're just doing it, you're with your vision and stuff like that. But once that money gets involved, or like someone pretty much like dangles that little bit of cash over your head, now all of a sudden they're in control of what you put out there. And it kind of ruins the creativity of it, the magic. And I don't know about you, but me personally, I like the idea of being able to take what's in my head, make a physical manifestation of it, and put that out there and have people enjoy it. Because then to me, it's like, man, I'm working up all these crazy ideas in my head. I'm able to express it the way I want to express it, and people are receiving that expression and approving it, that feels nice. That feels nice. That feels great. But then all of a sudden, like, it starts getting scrutinized and stuff like that. Now you've lost your work, you've lost yourself. I don't know, that sounds terrible. Um, yeah, that sounds awful. I feel like I'm running overtime, but long story short, put yourself out there, be confident in the work that you do, and also, I guess, be more assertive with what you feel comfortable putting out there. Because if you don't feel like it represents you or your personal brand, it's probably not worth putting out there. But hey, that's it for me.